Jesus has been wandering around, we'd call Israel, Palestine in that day, for the last 3 years. And now he comes into Jerusalem for his final time. And as he comes in, well, he's going to flip things, literally and figuratively. Literally, he flipped the tables, the benches of those that were selling the sacrifices and collecting the money and the money change. He flipped all of that. Now, what's interesting is that they legally, according to the law, could be there. God prescribed that that could happen. If you look at Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 22 to 26, it says that if you live too far away from Jerusalem, you can sell your sacrifice, take the money, go to Jerusalem, then buy the sacrifice there. So it was all set up. But man kind of got involved, and when man gets involved, well, we have a tendency to mess things up. And that's what the case here has been. Well, Jesus comes in and he flips the tables. He also flips the narrative in a sense. They have been testing him, trying to trap him. And once again, they do that. They bring him a coin and say, whose is this? Who does this belong to? Should we give taxes to Caesar? And Jesus said, whose portrait's on it? Give to Caesar what is Caesar, and to God what is God. So he kind of flips the narrative, but then he goes even more. In what we call Matthew 23, he says the 7 woes. 7 times says, woe to you teachers of the law, you Pharisees, you hypocrites. Then he goes on, and he calls them on the carpet. He attacks them. He finally finishes up by using similar words to John the Baptist. You brood of vipers. See, Jesus had flipped the narrative. He had been attacked all along. He now takes it to them. The people, the disciples, they must have loved this. They must have loved the fact that, yes, he was flipping, he was doing, this is what they wanted to do, stand up to him. Little did they know, in the days to come, their world would be flipped upside down. See, Jesus comes and he doesn't ask us to flip our life. And we see in a second here what we're going to read, but he asks us to flip our love. Because see, if we flip our love, our life will naturally follow. The passage I want to read is Matthew 22. They're talking about the greatest commands. And in verse 37, Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments. All the law and the prophets hang. Bryson at the Lord's Supper a short time ago, mentioned how there's 413 laws that they had to follow. If we talk about the prophets, there were 4 major, 12 minor, plus there's Elijah, Elisha, Nathan, a bunch of others that we see in Kings and Chronicles and in Samuel. All of this, he says, boils down to 2 and really just 1. Love God. Because see, if you love God, God loves others, and he wants us to. You're going to love others also. God's ultimate love was that his son came and died for us that we may be with him in eternity. Look at people differently. Look at people as those that are loved by God. Look at people as those that God desires for them to be in heaven with him for eternity. Flip your love, and your life will follow naturally. The way we look at our neighbors, our coworkers, our friends, those we don't even like, it'll change when we flip our love. This week, work on that. Work on flipping your love, and your life will follow. Let's go out there and do what God calls us to do. Stay safe.